Yeah, Eric Wilson here for B Publishing. I have this MPD32, and I have to change the pads because these pads, for lack of a better understanding, they suck. They're really thin and really bad. So what I did was I bought these black pads. Where are they at? Here they go. I bought these black pads. They're super extra thick, and they feel really nice. They feel like, because what happened was, I was playing this thing and it wasn't, you'd hit it and you go bop 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 bop, and you'd have to hit it really hard to get it to go. So a lot of people would take this apart and they stick a electrical tape or some of these cork pads underneath of them, and then it makes them more sensitive. But even after I did that, it was really sensitive and I liked it. But I was practicing patterns, because this is an instrument, and you really have to practice what it is that you're doing. So I'm practicing all these patterns, and my fingers started to hurt, and I said, damn. I said, man, my fingers are hurting. So what am I supposed to do about that? And I heard that they have thicker pads that you can buy from MPC stuff.com, and they seem to be the only people in the whole world that make these things. Because I'm like a deal shopper. I shop for the best deal for everything, but I couldn't find these things anywhere except for MPCstuff.com. And they're really thick pads and they feel really nice, and I think that this is going to keep me from hurting my fingers. So I'm just going to show you how, there's a couple videos on how to do this on YouTube, but I'm going to make another one. So what you do is you flip the stupid thing over, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 screws on the back. Once you take the screws out of the back, kind of carefully lift this up. And the reason I say carefully is because there's ribbons in here that you don't want to mess up. See the ribbon? You don't want to kink those up, and they get messed up. So you kind of just push this over a little bit. And this ribbon connector, it kind of just sits inside this thing, and it looks like it doesn't come out, but it does. You just grab it. Don't grab it with your fingernails or the tips of your fingers. Grab it like this. It's not a big deal. These things aren't really easy to break, and you just kind of jiggle it back and forth, and it's going to come out of its connector. And that's that. And then there's another little connector here that you just pull out on, and then you've got your board here. And this is where you got like your USB port and all that kind of stuff. And I actually had to put a new USB port in this one, because the USB port, the way they make them, it's not so strong, and people who just like always plugging stuff in hard, or they stick their MPD in their bag without unplugging it, it'll ruin that thing really quickly. So I had to stick a new one in there. It was pretty easy to do. Now, after you've got that done, kind of just make sure that you know where everything is, so that you don't well, really the biggest thing about this is ruining any one of these ribbons, because you'll put it back together and the thing won't work, and you won't know why. So there's another set of screws here that you're going to need to take out. There's 2 black screws here. You don't need to take those out. But this is the board. This is the big board. There's a small board here, and a little tiny board here, and a big board here. So you got to take this big board out, and there's a bunch of somebody's calling me. Let me turn that off. There's a bunch of little screws here, the Phillips head screws, and you just take them all out. Doesn't matter what order you do. Leave those 2 black ones in, and then you'll be able to lift this up, and underneath of this is where your pads are. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so that took a little bit of time. So what I'm going to do now is, I got all the screws out, and you lift up on the board and it's stuck by something. So really what you got to do is you got to turn it over, and see these little the faders. You just got to pop them out. Pop, 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 pop. They're pretty easy to take out. Don't feel like you're going to break this thing, because you're not. They come out pretty easy. There you go. Free Willy. Now, you can just lift up this board a little bit. Be sort of careful. You don't have to be super crazy careful. And there it is. This is the woof. This is kind of dirty. I'm gonna have to clean that up. This is the touch sensitive padding right here, and these are the pads. So the pads, you can just kind of like yoink up on this. See, I already put little electrical tape things on there, but now I got the real ones. So with my new pad set, I'm gonna shove the real ones in there. So you could just pluck this up and stick in your new pad set. Which way did this go? Like this? Looks good to me. And see, there you go, boom. They're in there nice and flat. and then you put it back. Well, what I got to do is I got the sensitivity pads, so I'm going to have to just peel these off and stick them on here, each one, and then I'll be able to flip this back over, and you just screw it all back together, and just, you know, make sure this ground wire right here, you know which one it went into, because it's got to go into the same one when you took the screw out, this ground wire here. So I'm going to throw these in here. I'm going to put this thing back together because it's pretty self-explanatory. When you took it apart, you can put it back together. And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you how it feels and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, so I've got the pads back in, and it's pretty cool. I think it's easier to use, and also there's something that I just noticed. I was just playing with it for like 5 seconds. That on the old pads you couldn't go like this and hit 2 pads with the straight finger, you know, because the pads weren't high enough off the thing. So now if I want to like do something, and if I want to go and add an extra sound to that kick, I can go. So that's probably like the best thing about that. It feels a little bit better on your fingers. It feels softer. It doesn't feel like you're so close to the board. But these things are raised up off of this so good that there's extra things that you can do with it that you couldn't do with it before. And the sensitivity is really, really fine. You know, so I'm pretty happy with it. 45 bucks for those pads, though. I don't know, it sounds a little bit steep, but the guy makes them. You know, he's probably got like a tiny little place where he makes this stuff at. So like he needs all the money he can get to have a successful business. So I'm really happy with him. I'm really happy with the way that this MPD32 does everything. You know, it does everything except for, you know, it's not a standalone. You need a computer and to mess with the sound, because it's just a MIDI controller. But whereas an MPC is just standalone, you can do everything just with the MPC. But this is really fantastic. I'm really happy with it, and we'll make some more reviews of different, you know, electronic stuff, speakers, studio monitors, guitars, trumpets even. I play the trumpet. So we'll do a bunch of stuff like that, and you'll be seeing a lot of videos from us soon. Thanks for watching. See you later.